am from the Chicago Children's Museum, and today I'm going to share a nostalgic crayon activity with you. So why crayons? I want you to take a moment, humor me, and think back to a strong memory of crayons. Okay? It can be a time that you use them, a place that you used them, an artwork where it was hung after you played with them. Just try and send that memory to yourself. My favorite memory of crayons is getting one of those giant boxes of crayons. You know what I'm talking about? The ones that when you flipped the top open, you could see tiers of crayons. And they seem to be organized by color sometimes, maybe not. I loved when I used them, making sure they went back to where they came from. And then there was that dinky sharpener in the side that I could never get to work very well, but was exciting. And when I got crayons that didn't have that sharpener, I was upset about it, unreasonably so. And then the smell of crayons. I used to be a middle school and high school art teacher in CPS, and I was the art teacher, of course, so other teachers would come in and visit me in my room, and sometimes I'd see them stop and just take a big, deep inhale and say, wow, smells like crayons. I sadly can no longer smell them because I think I'm just around them all the time. But yeah, they're just delightful. So what we're going to be doing today is really thinking about sensory experiences. So as we're making our art today, thinking about how it feels, textures, heat, we're also going to be focusing on process. So we aren't thinking of making a perfect artwork or what this artwork is going to be. We're focusing on the making of it. And of course, being from the Children's Museum, we're going to be playing, which is, as a reminder, play is an activity that has no serious goal or objective. Okay? So it's really about letting go and being present in the experience. Okay? And then, of course, lastly, having a relaxing self-care time. So really giving yourself permission to take time out to make a crayon artwork. Okay? So the things you'll need are a lot of crayons, a candle. I like to keep my candle in a bowl of water, so if I knock into it, I don't have to worry about anything catching on fire, and a hairdryer. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I don't like to think too hard about what colors I choose. I just go with instinct. Put my I put my crayon near my candle. I try not to touch the wick because if you get wax on the wick, it's much harder to light. So I just try and touch nearby. This is super relaxing. Makes it hard for me to talk. As you can see, I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing for my artwork. Just letting the crayon do its thing. If you find yourself really squeezing or putting tension in your hand, really loosen it up, okay? This is meant to be a relaxing activity. Sometimes I pretend I'm holding a feather. See if I can splatter this. There we go. Experiment. Try and figure out things that I'm not showing you, right? When we're playing, we're not really thinking too much about the rules. You could change colors. I'm going to change to my favorite crayon color. It's electric pink. Hold it to my flame a little bit. Oh, there we go. Maybe I'll do some kind of different lines here. I love scribbles. And I think they can end up looking really beautiful too. So remember, don't think about what's happening with this artwork. Just stay in the process of it. Oh, wow. Do you smell that? The crayon is really smelling strong. I love it. All right, so you could do this for as long as you like. If this is your favorite part of the activity, just focus on that. But another thing I love to do is use the hairdryer to melt the crayons. So what I gotta do is tape the crayons on my paper. And I didn't mention this before, but you want to make sure to be doing this activity somewhere where if it splatters, you won't be heartbroken. Because one thing that can happen is the crayon is really hard to get out of fabrics when it's melted. So you could do it in a tiled area or do it with a shower curtain underneath or an old sheet. I have like an old sheet on this table, a bed sheet. It's up to you. So for the next part, we're now going to use a hair dryer, and I'm gonna put it on high, and I'm just gonna place it on the crayon. It takes a few seconds, but it's totally worth it. Oh, here we go. What's cool is you'll see some of the crayon that I've already melted is remelting. If I angle the hair dryer, I get some different kind of interactions. Oh, lost my crayon. That's okay. So again, this is a really fun process. How you angle the hair dryer, what happens. You put it close. Put it all the way on. And luckily this doesn't hurt your hair dryer in any way. I love this weird stream that's happening and how my other crayon, that green one, is starting to melt. Maybe see if I just put it on the area, how to expand it. See how now the colors are mixing a bit? And this leads me to one of my favorite things to geek out about. And since this is with the Design Museum, I think this is a proper place to geek out about it. So, something I talk to parents of 3- and 4-year-olds, sometimes even 2-year-olds about quite a bit, is how children have a natural sense of composition or design, how to put things together. You'll notice that they fill the whole pages or they strategically add space. You know, when you think about where does our sense of design come from, right? What makes one thing look good and another thing look bad? I think we're born with that. I mean, you all probably know more than me. I'm not a designer, but I do feel like we all are designers in a lot of ways. It's not until we get older where we start thinking about pleasing adults, doing things the right way, getting shyer, and then suddenly our drawings shrink. Or we're so caught up in thinking about things, we don't feel it. So doing artworks like this, what's kind of nice is naturally a composition will come out of it, right? So just through playing and letting the material do what it does when you add fire to it, which sensory-wise, who doesn't love fire? Even take a moment to feel your artwork. The little ridges of the melted crayon feel awful nice. If you want to go further with this project, add some watercolor on top, make a resist. Try it on fabric. Try doing this on different colored papers, different textured papers. What would this be like on sandpaper? But just know, like, doing activities like this are good for you too. So even though they're fun and it feels like you're not doing anything, you really are. You're really rebuilding yourself up and just helping yourself. There's a reason animals in the wild still play, even though for them it's probably not super helpful because they could get eaten while they're playing and not paying attention, but they still do it. So obviously it's really good for us. Thank you for letting me geek out. I love talking to adults about art and how also making art like a child can be really good for you. If you want to get more art activity ideas, you can go to the Chicago Children's Museum Facebook page. I have some videos there. Other educators have posted some videos. We would love you to try our activities out. And thanks to the Design Museum for letting us come in and give you some ideas on nostalgic art activities. So go have fun with your crayons. Thank you. See y'all soon. Bye.